So now you show up. Are your guys is Estonian SOF already deployed to Afghanistan when you show up there?
So pretty much when we got back, I think the first unit went in 2012. So Martin again, he was the first guy in Afghanistan. He was sent there to pretty much set up and figure out where we could be sent. So he had a half a year deployment, like, okay, go to Afghanistan and figure out where we can go. And he went there, and then he started pulling strings, started building relationships, and eventually we had a province where we could actually go together with the 10th group, I think. And then the first team went there.
And then when did you end up going?
So I ended up going in 2013. So we were like changing them out. And yeah, it was like a Laghman province, pretty much similar situation. Like there was not a lot of freedom of freedom to maneuver. Yeah, exactly. So, and it was in the mountains. It was just one valley shaped Y. We were somewhere in the middle, and the local guys obviously wasn't able to accomplish much. But the first team, then they didn't start doing any DA, they didn't do any fancy stuff. They just did what was needed. What they said that, hey, we need to push the bubble to create possibility to start moving. They started utilizing the local ANA and started putting checkpoints, and then they started training the local special forces. And actually in that province, the people that we were able to utilize were pretty good. That's like it's hard to tell that. Usually, like if you say it's pretty good, it's not good, but they were pretty good. And they had their EOD teams, and their like success rate in terms of finding IEDs was 97%. So like when we went out, that it was pretty good.
That's amazing.
Obviously, every day or I don't know, once a week, someone blew up still, but I don't know for whatever reason. There could be half of the times they just blew up because they did something stupid rather than drive on the IED. So they were able to actually establish a really good system. They were able to pass the bubble, and now there was a freedom to move. And when we got there, we pretty much now had ability to go start getting all of the dirt bags. So we had one dude whose name was Joe Dirt. And yeah, so we started to kind of establish rapport with locals. Like the local unit, initially we kind of started training together to learn each other so that we don't shoot each other. So, and then when you go to the first operation, maybe 1 month in, maybe 1.5 months, like here is a bag, put all of your cell phones here. You take all of the cell phones, and then you tell them where we're going. And then you go out in the night in a random valley with 2 Chinooks, and you start killing bad guys pretty much.
It's interesting. You were training for like 4 years of legit infantry and special operations training. You must have been very gratified when you finally got on a Chinook and flew out to go kill bad guys. Yeah,
it was interesting. Like I was the guy sitting on the edge, and then flying in the total darkness. We have like 2 Apaches covering for us, 2 Chinooks. We are going in both of them, like, I don't know, 50 people. And then I'm sitting on the back. We are starting to get closer, and then I just watch out from there and I see like tracers flying. I was like, okay, now I understand where I am. Then when we land, like I didn't take any of my, the goggles that you hide. I went there, all of my eyes were full of sand. So, and then I hear like the Apaches are singing already. They are sending some hellfires to the mountains or whatever.
Dang, this is your first op, huh?
Yeah, that's the
first op. And are you with like a bunch of Afghan
we had like
nationals, then how many of you guys?
It was like, I think it was 7 Estonians and 5 Americans. and then about, 80 locals. Nighttime, in the middle of nowhere. And it was funny. Like, we initially were supposed to get the special forces helicopter guys, the whatever they are. Like,
160th?
Yeah. And obviously there was a higher priority somewhere, so we didn't get that. And then eventually we got regular, I guess, army guys, and they put us one click away in the middle of the valley. And then what we had to start doing is getting closer to the target area, wherever the Shura was. And that was fun because there was like, the mountain was on that side, and there was like this ridge lines, or like, this ridge lines coming down. So we went over the first one, and I was like, okay, that's fucking sucks. And you look at the locals, like they have their dress on, they're just chilling.
AK-47, and a few mags or whatever.
And then you get on the bottom of that, and you look at the next one. Holy fucking shit. You go up there, you go down, and you're like, next one. Then you are on top of the third one.
So this is your first op.
Yeah.
And you're done three.
Yeah, exactly. And then by the time I was down on the third one, my legs were so full of blood that they just didn't, like, no steps up. So what we did is that we did a chain and we just pulled each other up, because that's how fucking bad the legs were. Obviously, we had all the 6 plates in it. All the ammunition was with me. I had like 5 kilograms of explosives in the back. I had everything. Only thing what I didn't have was water. So we get on top of the fourth one. And we're like, okay, we can't go further anymore because we're already dead.
Like everyone's crushed.
Yeah, everyone's crushed. And then, as I was the last guy of Estonians, there's like, other Estonians are already down there. Go and link up with them. I'll say, okay, let's go. Like, I just go down random place, down the hill, and then I link up in a random corner and say, okay, other Estonians are here at least. Very good. Now we start moving. So our idea was like, there was like mayhem going on, and then we had to go and confirm if we get the Joe Dirt, right? We had a dude with a mask on. We didn't know who he was. He was supposed to be the guy who was actually confirming the dude. And then we had maybe half of the Afghans with us. And then Afghans at some point said that, hey, we don't want to go first anymore. Our Zulu, who was for our Zulu, like team sergeant, he was third deployment in Afghanistan.
Is this Estonian guy or an American guy?
Estonian guy. Yeah, he was in charge of the lead element. Like the officers, they stayed on top, and now all NCOs just going in there just to confirm. And then our guy said, okay, so Estonians go first then, because we need to move. We are not going to stay here. Because I guess the Afghans, they didn't like to use their night vision or whatever. Whatever the reason was, they didn't want to go first. So the first kind of street, or first kind of where there's just two 50-meter walls, no doors, no nothing, just a corridor. It's like, oh yeah, that's a great place to go from. So yeah, we just took a leap of faith, started going, nothing happened, then went on and on and on. We eventually get to a place where the alleged bodies were, because I think the Apaches, they already had killed 11, and we just went there to pretty much confirm. So I was put in one position to pull cover, and then people piled to the right, and then our dudes they found the body. And now, how do you get the picture? You take out your camera and you start taking a picture. Now what happens?
Flash goes
There's a
off?
flash.
Yeah, well,
now as the flash goes off, there is a machine gun fire coming from a random direction.
Ooh.
And so then the mayhem started. Bullets are flying over my head. I have no fucking clue what's happening. First time in a contact. Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting feeling. So now I heard that they say that they're in contact. Now there's shots fired. But then the officers or the HQ who stayed on top of the mountain, they don't understand or they don't hear anything. So I'm like, okay, so should I become a relay now? or what should I do? So I just say contact into my direct radio as well. So now they got it. Then the next thing in 5 minutes is that, okay, now we have wounded in action. Someone is wounded. So now I have that information to relay. I will continue that. Now they are in panic on the HQ there because it's our first real op. And then next thing is like, okay, Apache, we have only like 7 minutes left of Apache airtime. So Apache would like to start shooting someone. But as the only ones who have the blinkers are Estonians and one American, then we don't know where to shoot because there are a lot of Afghans and where they are, we have no idea. So then I started like having a conversation through radio with those dudes to figure out, hey, are they in line? Are they in right place? Now at the same time, I had this amazing equipment. So we had this night vision goggles where in front you can put a thermal sight. But if the thermal sight's battery goes out, it's black.
Good.
Nothing.
Sounds awesome.
So at the same time, all of that is going on, and I'm like doing my job and figuring out, then obviously black. Mm-hmm. Then it's like, oh, this is getting only better. Then I I ask the guy next to me to take over in terms of this position. I change my battery. I coordinate that, yes, all of the dudes are out from the way. I relay that information, and then on top of me, Apache started singing towards whatever compound. After that, everything was silent. Mm-hmm. And now our team sergeant, understanding that, hey, we just climb over 4 mountains. We have been now, 2 clicks into the city in a random place where we have no idea where we are. It's our first operation. And then he decides that, hey, okay, let's just fall back. So pretty much who got wounded, it was one of the Terps. His like fingers were shot off or something. And then we just started going back.
Did you get Joe dirt?
No, absolutely
idea.
Nothing.
Of course,
no.
Yeah.
And then we started going back, and the dude who brought us there, he came to me. He was just there in the epicenter. Like, I have no idea where the fuck we are. Can you lead us back to the beginning? I said, I saw how fucked up he was. I said, yes, no problem. I had no idea where we are. Mm-hmm. Just started going in one direction and figuring out the way. So I started to be a point man. So I pointed us back to that hill. We eventually somehow got to the place where we came from. We climbed up to the mountain, and then we were like, so yeah, I wonder, do we now have to climb back over all of those mountains and then get the helicopter to pick us up? Like, we would rather stay here and fight for whatever amount of days, because we are not capable of doing that. And obviously then magic happened. There's like 2 Chinooks came. They were hovering. Ugh. And we were running into the Chinooks, and then we got back. And I guess we had like 3 people captured. I don't know who they were. I have no idea what we did, because it was my first time. I had no fucking understanding of what's going on. But all of those things happened, and which was like really fun. Like when I've like talked about those experiences, that like all the laws of combat were just utilized on the first operation. And why I was able to do all of those things, because of our training. Mm-hmm. Like that 9 months of like training paid off. Mm-hmm. Because like it was all cover move. It was keeping things simple, understanding what the hell to do, become a radio man, which I have never been, relaying information, like understanding where we have to navigate back, prioritize and execute, decentralized command, like all of those things. Mm-hmm. Sharing bottles of water, like everything. And so yeah, that was the first thing. It was interesting.
How was the debrief on this operation?
So debrief was pretty fine in terms of. Did you feel like, hey, we got some shit to fix? No, I can't. Or did you feel like you did a decent job? We did a decent job in general, like because when we get there, like we were high-fiving, like when you got home. Yeah, when we got to the base, we got back to base. Yeah, we got back to base. It was I can't even remember debrief. Like I can't remember it. You were just too fired up. Yeah, I guess I was like, I don't know, rushing there. But I remember like first thing what I did is like I opened up my Coke bottle and drank that, and we were sitting with 3 dudes, and then the team sergeant came in. What the fuck are you doing here? Why is your gear off? hey, maybe we have to go out now, so better go and get prepared. So he just pretty much
Hell yeah.
vanished our dreams
Yeah.
of relaxing here. We were like, laying back,
Yeah.
starting to like debrief how we went, and like, but he came in and he was like a hardhead, like he was a true team sergeant from Ranger School.
Yeah.
That kind of a dude. So
Hell yeah.
so yeah, he taught me, and he made me a human. Let's put it like that.